the new system. Okay, so I'm starting the recording and we are discussing the GHG accounting and reporting process, where we have covered accounting in module 1, 2, analysis in 3, action in 4, disclosure in 5. And today we are talking about disclosure, last part, where we will try to create credible report based on different international framework which suggest ESG reporting framework, and also that how this whole thing comes together with a iterative process which is a circular in motion. So reporting is always a motion in action or action in motion, whatever way you want to say. What we have seen is climate action basics, where we know that any activity, including GHG accounting, requires you to convert that into either mitigation, which we did in the case of GHG, or create a adoption scenario. So we know how much emission I am doing and how much of that world has to adopt it. Yeah, because I am unable to control it, specifically if I'm in steel, cement, a growth area. And that's why SDG goal number 13, which talks about climate action, need to be considered whenever we talk about climate action and global goals. Second is, of course, Paris Agreement, Paris Climate Agreement, which has aim to limit the global temperature rise well below 2 degrees Celsius, well below is the keyword, and pursue efforts to stay below 1.5 degrees Celsius. And then that has given a birth to net zero targets, where everybody has agreed on an average, we should try to target carbon net zero by 2050. It is not mandatorily accepted by all countries, as we are aware, China, developing countries specifically, who requires carbon emission in order to grow faster and with a lesser resources at their disposal. Okay, because we are not as rich than the developed countries due to per capita income, population, etc., and thereby achieving net zero emission by 2050 or earlier is recommended, not made mandatory. Now, one of the here very good case study comes from IKEA case study. Now, how many of you have read it? Few of you have done a presentation on IKEA, I believe, right? That's why I said that IKEA is a part of module 5. It was not part of the module 4. So you have already done, and we have learned a lot of new information where Dr. Megha did, I believe, because it's very close to her side. These are the 3 basic facts which their reports talk about. Yeah, specifically which complies with their corporate as a corporate taking climate action. And that was that they have clearly mentioned that IKEA wants to strengthen the climate goals by taking action which are aligned with 1.5 degrees centigrade target trajectory. Now, what it means? It means that glide path कौन सा path? जहां कैलाश ने क्वेश्चन पूछा था आईडीसी एनडीसी क्या है, वो glide path they have selected 1.5 degree वाला. They are not selecting 2.5 business as usual. They are selecting 1.5. So that's one of that great example of IKEA that they are targeting glide path of 1.5 degrees centigrade on page so and so. They are explaining the same. They have also made sure that every year there is an improvement on different front of climate action, including local sourcing, reusability or circularity in their operation, right? And to have all this coming together, energy efficiency, solar panel, you can see in the picture, right? Using extra ground to put solar panel, renewable energy. So complete store remains supplied by renewable energy. And by this way, they have already achieved 20% reduction in their carbon footprint. So this is one of the great example IKEA has set in front of world, right? And they are in a segment which is directly impacting the sink. Why I am saying that? Anybody can guess? They are directly impacting the carbon sink. They are in the business where they cut the tree, right?
Yeah, the trees. Yeah,
Trees.
also.
Yeah, trees.
Is
Okay.
agree to that? Yeah, they cut the tree, make furniture for us. जो भी MDF यूज कर रहा है, name you can make it different name, but it is a part of somewhere. It is a part of forest which is required to be converted. steel which is required to be used. So all that which requires heavily, which can create a climate impact, they are taking action on it. Okay, and they are being responsible about it. And that's why there are three different, if you read the case study, you will see there are three critical things which they have done. One was that recycling 100%. So you take their, furniture back to the store and they will replace it with a good amount which you cannot get in outside market. Okay, that scheme has worked so fine that there was a story that they used to put, by the way, IKEA has still, they do that in their furniture. Even in my furniture, somewhere they have given a code that which year this was made and which forest they have used. There is a code in each of this particular furniture, and they created some kind of very interesting buyback system where people were really getting appreciated if they are bringing the old. And they did this analysis. I think, doctor, you were talking about this, right? That they did this analysis and found out that people are using their furniture for long, long period of time. It's not that fast fashion IKEA is working on. Rather, those furniture which came back to them, the average, I believe, was somewhere 15 to 20 years. I don't remember exactly that scheme, but please read in the case study. So that is one very interesting stuff which is happening. Second is the world sourcing. The sustainable sourcing is a challenge in case of wood, because there is a country interest as well, which you cannot defy or defile, right? Every country doesn't want their forest to shrink. So they have created a sourcing system which relies on international sourcing, and that is sustainable, right? Here, food sourcing, doctor was asking, right? Why the food sourcing or food recycling they are talking about? Doctor, most of their stores internationally as well as nationally now has a kitchen. They do kitchen ka furniture, but they also have a restaurant called IKEA restaurant. I think that's the brand.
Right.
And for that, they have sustainable food sourcing and food recycling. Okay, so they are achieving there as well a massive amount of traction. And specifically for India, their CEO was traveling a couple of months back, and she came in newspaper and talked about that they want to achieve 30 to 50% local sourcing in India, right? And India is very challenging because there are a lot of local vendors who doesn't want to entertain. They know that IKEA will become Walmart and they will become a small a grocery shop owner who will be eaten away, right? So those kind of challenges they have taken and they are fulfilling through these three things. So IKEA, who is working as a climate action corporate, which is taking action in form of renewable energy integration, sustainable sourcing, and circular economy processes, being innovative. So corporate can take such kind of action towards climate. Second is national and global policy, which we have learned already in module 2, but I'm just summarizing on it specifically in terms of COP28 and COP29. Now, COP28 is listed here, but I want you guys, there will be tomorrow, two video will be sent, one on the summary of COP28 and one on the summary of COP29, right? It will be made available to you. Have a look and read it, because in both COP Conference of Party agreements, it has been agreed that we need to accelerate now climate finance commitments, because adoption remains a challenging part for the country which are exposed to extreme events now frequently. Okay, so that is what has been talked in COP28 and COP29. I will send you, you read it. But point here was that European Union and US global pledge both has been brought in COP28, and now we know that even Paris Agreement they have taken hand back. So that is one challenge, and loss and damage fund and remains as a challenge, even though it has been approved in COP29. If anybody knows, let me know the amount which they have sanctioned, which is actually 1/8 of the what India has asked. India asked for $1.7 trillion, and they have received $200 billion. So that's why there was one representative of ours whose video is very viral. Okay, now Another point was carbon pricing mechanism, which has happened in COP29. In COP29, it has been deliberated and approved that Article 6.2, 6.4, and 6.8 will be accepted by October, and there will be international trading will be allowed. We have learned in the last segment, so please watch that video if you have missed it. Question will not be there. By the way, I'm just letting you guys know. I'm not going to ask question on that, so be comfortable. Mostly it will be around how to calculate. There will be 6, 7 calculation question, very simple ones, which you can answer if you know the technique. Carbon tax implementation has started happening now, and that is another thing which pushes GHG in the centerpiece. Yeah, GHG accounting in the centerpiece, because without understanding the GHG accounting, if somebody is training or learning CBAM, they are just doing a futile exercise, because neither they will understand the concept nor they will be able to control the taxation on the company for which they are working. Yeah, they can talk big language like UN is talking, UNSC is talking in case of Pahalgam sacrifice, where they are coming and even saying that Pakistan has no problem, no hand, and as well as the RTF, Lashkar-e-Toiba has nothing to do. Now, such kind of a statement can be made in big meetings, but result will be zero. Okay, people who have died, they have lost their life, and that need to be taken cognizance of. Now, role in reduction played by following national policy, starting with UN. Sorry, UN. UN is coming now. I think UN has lived their enough life. They have to change themselves. Otherwise, people will change them. EU Green Deal is the newest stuff which is in play now, and everybody is talking about it. And they want to understand. Look, this deal is there is a aim to this deal where EU climate neutral as a whole European Union, they want to become climate neutral by 2050. And they are doing this by creating $1 trillion euros in sustainable development. They want to invest, and that is that deal which I am showing you on right hand side. Okay. And this they will do it by 55 packages. They are introducing different packages for different sector, right? And targeting 55% of the emission reduction. That's why it's very interesting to read even 55 packages, 55% is reduction, emission reduction by 2030, and by 2050, whole Europe will be carbon neutral. And for that, Europe has created a deal of 1 trillion euros. So that quite an interesting one, which is for promotion of renewable energy will be there, electric vehicle adoption will be there, and carbon farming will be there. Okay, these are the three major theme they have taken, which you should be knowing. Second is,
Sir, I have a
Can you
question.
repeat that? Oh, sorry.
okay, one by one. I think something
So
wrong. I
could you
said,
just repeat
I
that,
said
please?
something wrong, I thought.
No,
Okay,
no, no,
go
no,
ahead,
no.
Kailash, ask.
Could you just repeat what you just said, the three of
Okay.
them?
So there is a
Okay,
European Union Green Deal. Okay, let me address him first, and then I will come to you, doctor.
right, sir. Right.
Okay. So there is a aim for EU become climate neutral by 2050 through investment of $1 trillion in sustainable development.
Euro.
Sorry,
Yes.
yes, dollar, not dollar, euros. Okay. Did I make that mistake? That's why you asked the question,
No,
or?
no, no, no. What
Okay.
are the
Yes,
three things you
okay.
mentioned
Okay. So I
after that?
didn't make that mistake. Now I am making. Okay. Coming back. So this has introduced a fit for 55 packages. This 1 trillion euros is for 55 different packages which has been designed to be executed. And the target with these packages is that 55% of the emission reduction will happen by 2030 itself. Okay, not 2050 when they will become carbon neutral. By 30 itself, they are targeting 55 percentage. That's why it is a famous European Union Green Deal, which is called 55-55. Clear? And how
No,
they are
sir.
doing
You
it?
mentioned those three ways. That
Yeah,
was I was
three
asking
ways
about them.
by how they are doing it. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying to. But I thought you have a question here, but you
No, no,
had a
I got
question
that
on
very
the
well.
last
The
part.
initial
Yeah.
was all good. I
Okay.
just had
Okay.
some voice sound issues.
Okay, so let me address the last part. So last part is through promotion of three ideas, which is
Mhm.
the theme number one is renewable energy, promotion of renewable energy. if you are not aware, just get aware. Europe doesn't have solar wafer manufacturing yet. America got it. Means maximum advantage they got only in 3 years by having a IRA Act 2022. China is leading it and they are dumping in Europe. That's why they are focusing on renewable energy. Second is electric vehicle adoption. Again, as Europe has kept $1 trillion, China is gone berserk. It first dumped BYD like anything. Then Europe understood. They put a penalty of immediately carbon tax will come 2026. They immediately put one tax only for electric vehicle, which was 18 to 32%, specifically aiming to China, right? So that is electric vehicle adoption theme. And the last is carbon farming theme, right? Which is sequestration, which can be CCUS unit, the capturing unit, etc. Now, did I answer your question, Kailash?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dr. Megha, you can ask.
Yes, sir. So now I have one more question. So
Yes.
why would why they impose carbon tax if they were selling EVs, which
They are
is
not selling. They are not selling. China was selling to them.
China was exporting to them. So why
Ah,
did they put carbon tax? EVs was their part of their mission, investing in EVs.
no.
Europe's mission.
Okay. Okay. Let me clarify. What did I say? So they had this three theme under European Union Green Deal. One is renewable energy, second is electric vehicle, third is carbon farming. The
Mm.
second one, they want to promote electric vehicle adoption. If you are aware, there are certain countries which are running only on electric right now in Nordic region, specifically Denmark, Norway. They have a full conversion. Everybody has adopted it. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
But problem was these vehicles were manufactured in China and China was emitting carbon like anything and selling them the clean stuff. It was very good stuff to have in Europe, but the Europe is or any person who knows that a scope 3 emission is their emission, capital goods, right? Is their emission. So they said, boss, this way two things will happen. Our local economy in EV will never develop and means, of course, Volkswagen, all these large players are there, right? So they are anyway doesn't want to develop because they want to sell their guzzlers. They have a patented technology there. So they want to
Mm.
sell that instead of buying a new patent and creating an ecosystem which requires massive investment. So Europe did one thing. They said in order to curtail this dumping of carbon dioxide emitted subsidized vehicle coming from China, you know China, right? They subsidize
Yeah.
everything. They will make it, the cost of making this water will be 200 rupees. They will subsidize 190 rupees and sell it at 10. And then they will convert into dollar because their interest is dollar. Their interest is not this water and what you are drinking and how they are producing. Their interest is dollar, which very few
Right.
people understand, means economists understand, because they know the dollar controls the world. So they want to control the world. So they want dollar. कितने में जा रहा है, क्या price में जा रहा है, क्या loss government को हो रहा है, who cares? As long as those guys are getting per capita income increased and material coming from Sudan, Khartoum, you name it, lithium ion, I should control the value chain. And
Mm.
that is why Europe has stopped by putting a carbon tax on vehicle first. This has happened last year itself. Okay, they have
Right.
somewhere in July.
Right. Now, my original question was, so 1 trillion euros, Europe has, EU has kept aside, right, to invest in these three kinds of projects. Does
Correct.
it include only within EU region, or
Course
I've
only.
got two questions here. One, or
No,
are they are open for all across the world? One, two.
okay.
Climate finance is something which is a part of COP 29. There was a disagreement.
Yeah,
So
200.
when they invest in climate finance related projects like any sustainable project or green energy project in any other country, do they earn carbon credits like Europe?
अभी तक तो आया नहीं ना वो कार्बन क्रेडिट का एक्सचेंज country to country because there is no central repository which now has been promoted as United Nation FCC has
Mm.
yet not implemented. So that is not there, right? So that discussion goes out of the way कि कार्बन क्रेडिट में जाके दूसरे कंपनी में करूँ कंट्री में करूंगा तो मुझे कार्बन क्रेडिट मिलेगा, वो इंटरेस्ट तो किसी को है ही नहीं। बिकॉज कार्बन क्रेडिट का क्रिएशन विच यू लर्न यस्टरडे इन डिटेल, राइट, वी वेंट इनटू द
Hmm.
अंडरस्टैंडिंग।
Hmm.
6.2 क्या है, 6.4 क्या है, 6 सो वो तो है ही नहीं, क्रेडिबिलिटी तो है ही नहीं ना, तो इंडिया कुछ भी दे देगा, चिपका देगा उनको। उनको उससे मतलब नहीं है, उनको मतलब, बाय द वे, your question has so many parts. If I will start explaining, it will go too many places. But let me give you two quick gist of it. One, no. Answer is clear. No. Europe is about Europe. Okay. They are putting this 1 trillion in their own country. There is a second part of your question which I should not be answering because you have not asked, but I'm still giving you idea. Is still there are certain nations which are investing or not investing, transferring the technology to India, specifically
Yeah.
biogas, biomass. You will hear in North and NCR, there are several projects which has come from Denmark. That transfer is happening, and that is a part of different agreement. That was a part of Paris Agreement technology transfer, that developed nations should transfer their technology to poor country like India, right? So instead of investing, they are just transferring or capitalizing their currency by sending you the technology, which is in advanced stages, specifically on recycling side. So that is what is happening. And third one, there was one more question you have asked. That's why I said too many questions are there. You said one more question, right?
I was asking about carbon credit only.
Okay, so that I have answered. Okay, let's move on then. So second one is Indian National Action Plan Climate Change. Yeah, NPCC. Now, NAPCC, which has been explained in the blog, which has been shared earlier, is core focus here is that includes on renewable energy. There is a target which we have set, right? 2030, we will have 500 gigawatts of renewable energy operational and 100 gigawatts of nuclear energy also operational by 2050. This is a new target which we have set. Okay. So don't only consider the renewable energy, but also look into the nuclear energy, which gives a more sustainable. It is not sustainable, but it gives the more smaller investment, larger return kind of it. Now, core focus, which is right now of INAPCC, is on 500 gigawatt. There is a very good example which they have already set where 175 gigawatt target was taken. Okay, 175 gigawatt target was taken in to achieve by 2022, right? Through forestation, etc. Through renewable energy, they have already achieved that. They have crossed 200. Yeah, so that's a good news of NAPCC achievement. NAPCC also looks after afforestation and energy efficiency, while National Hydrogen Mission, which is a part of the same organization now, means operating parallelly, focus on green hydrogen to decarbonize the heavy industry. So green hydrogen is designed for decarbonizing heavy industry, and this is for this they have created a national hydrogen mission. And then there is a launch of a state action plan on climate change, which is SAPCCs, which is for localizing each state to take some action. So these are Indian effort, which I thought you guys should be knowing in climate action side. And if you want to know United States now, everything has changed. It started with Inflation Reduction Act, which is still not been dismantled of 2022, but which has allocated approximately $369 billion to clean energy project, incentivizing the electric vehicle, Tesla, solar energy, Tesla, carbon capture technology, not Tesla, but a lot of other large players. And this, they rejoined, by the way, just after Biden came in, they rejoined the Paris Agreement under his leadership, presidency. And now, again in 2024 and 2025, US has withdrawn from that. Voluntary initiatives are two major initiatives which you should be aware about. The first one is science-based target initiative. And the problem with science-based target initiative is once you have taken, means you start following it, you have to align with it. You cannot play with, you know, target initiative. Now, more than 5,000 companies are part of SBTI, covering a diverse industry. So it is not limited to manufacturing or West. It is available for all kind of country. Anybody can take who wants to set a net zero target. Okay, and this provides a validating framework. So this basically validates your plan and progress towards net zero emissions, or if you are taking even carbon reduction. So people generally gravitates towards SBTI because it's the most authentic one, and now world is accepting it. Framework includes target of scope 1, 2, and 3 emission as well. That's why people love this, who are really serious about carbon reduction or climate action. And transition to net zero strategy by mid-century, everybody agrees if you are on SBTI pathway. RE100 is another voluntary initiative across world has been adopted in parallel with net zero, which is a global initiative where the company commits to sourcing of 100% renewable energy. So they commits to whatever energy they will consume 100% from renewable. This includes now more than 500 companies. There's a little dated data such as Google, Apple, IKEA, all the large company you will see, they will be also writing that they are RE100 compliant. Uh, Even Saudi Arabia, Aramco is RE100 compliant. They target. I don't know whether they have achieved or not. They encourages businesses to directly procure renewable energy through purchase power agreements. So you should invest in it. Other voluntary initiative includes green supply chains, like Walmart, Unilever is progressing towards that. Circular economy practices is again covered by, we have just saw IKEA case study. They have taken it. H&M has integrated it to reuse, recycle, and modular design to minimize the waste and resource consumption. And the last but not least is the carbon neutral products. So Microsoft, Dell, etc. is targeting towards it. Apple has already joined the race. Very soon we will see iPhone, iWatch, they have achieved, I believe, already carbon neutral product. So these are few voluntary stuff which is happening, but this doesn't give you too much of overconfidence, okay, that world is really doing all the stuff which is required. There are still several challenges, and three of those are in front of you. The first is the supply chain emission. You World is claiming they are doing really well in this area, but actually completely miserably they are failing here. They are not recording it properly. And often they are representing 70 to 90% of the company emission, which comes from this area. Difficulty arises from lack of a standardized reporting structure itself. Okay, so there is a we saw, right? There are 30 methods and everybody has the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 choices. And then there are some quacks sitting in the market which can take anything, which I will make sure today you don't do that. Okay, so we'll learn a little bit of DEFRA, a little bit of how to use such kind of documentation in order to solve the case study which we have already solved. Examples are companies like PepsiCo, Nestle are using digital traceability to address this problem. This is a good example we should be considering while going forward, right? So those kind of tools are important for Scope 3 emission control. Policy shift, it is a dynamic area. I accept that a lot of movement is happening, but after US has withdrawn from the system, a lot of money has been withdrawn from such initiative, and even governments are reluctant to impose stringent regulations, including refining policy or changing policy or implementing policies like omnibus in Europe. So they have extended it. We have extended as well, where we were supposed to get our value chain accounted and reported this year. Would have expected at least 1 lakh new companies started reporting on sustainability, has been delayed by 1 year because there is not even an auditor available to do that. Okay, so auditing also has been extended. So company must proactively adopt such strategies and comply to evolving legislation, which we are expecting to happen very soon, like European Union CBAM. Otherwise, there will be tax on you, which is coming. So penalty, tax, all are awaited. Global disparities also exist in the policy shift. So certain countries are really aggressive, certain countries are totally agnostic to it, including now USA. They don't care about it. And then comes the stakeholder expectation. So transparency demand, which is genuine demand, never gets fulfilled, specifically to the investor who are investing in company who claims to be ESG compliant, right? The greenwashing remains the center topic at least till the time now ESG will exist. That's my feeling. However, few pundits in the market are saying it will be addressed very soon, but I don't think so. It's like yin and yang, which we have learned throughout our 8 days of learning, that when there is a good thing happening, there will be bad thing in the shadow. How much of that is influencing us need to be seen and taken control on. The social license to operate is another thing which brings the just in the play, like energy transition, just energy transition, etc. Because climate goal is not in isolation, we should be saying. We should be always saying with the fact that people are involved in this process. Either they are getting impacted or they are actually creating this scenario. In both cases, loss of customer trust, risk of reputational damage remains the center theme. And it is our responsibility, yeah, of this small group of 10 people to take this seriously and implement it uh, with all the possible protection we can take. Yeah, that's why we got educated 9 days extra than anybody else. And I expect from all of you that you at least take one step more than your peers in the market. With that, we have come to end with the whole thing. The last part is still remains, which I want to cover today, and I will cover, is on the frameworks. There are different frameworks which are available for us to use GHG and report, and which will be eventually seen by the stakeholder. GHG nobody sees, reports nobody sees in isolation, right? The project, even though I have given you the full-fledged project, but that project nobody is going to watch. They are going to watch the full report of sustainability. So you need to know what are those disclosure frameworks which you should be considering under GHG accounting, right? Now, let's just start with understanding what are those climate disclosure. So there is a transparency and accountability requirement even at the top level, which is called ESG or sustainability reports, which is required to build the trust with the stakeholder, demonstrating that you are environmentally responsible. Then GHG comes into play and you meet the regulatory requirements and prepare for evolving climate policy like CBAM, Omnibus, etc. Now, driving organization improvements by identifying and addressing the emission hotspots remain the key area of any framework available today, including GRI, CDP, SBTI, etc. So that is why we need to learn about those as well. And what is there in that reporting, which we should adopt even at when we are writing the GHG protocol reports. That's what we are trying to learn in next 5 slides. Okay, so transparency remains that a core value of the whole exercise, which strengthens that a stakeholder gets the confidence. And you know how transparency comes into play by you become accountable and you follow the process of measurement and tracking, which is accurate or fairly accurate. That fair word never you should forget. Now, type of disclosure, which is voluntary or mandatory, again, mandatories are nationalistic one, specifically. If it is imposed by BRSR, even though they do not have a teeth right now, but it is mandatory in a nature. If you are a top 1,000 company in India by your market cap, then you have to report. There is no way you can escape BRSR reporting in India, right? Similarly, in CSRD, for 50,000 company it was. Now they have reduced it by the changing the law, diluting it because omnibus is delayed by 1 year to 10,000 company. But still it is there. And thereby, those are mandatory requirement. There are, and CDR in USA was supposed to be mandatory requirement, but it looks like getting slowly, it is getting diluted. Climate disclosure reportings. Now, voluntary ones are GRI, which is world over more than 14,000 company has adopted, right? On their website, that's what they claim. Actually, numbers must be much higher than that. CDP is another one where more than 7,000 people are reporting and using it. And SBTI, as we have discussed, 5,000 companies are using it. These are voluntary requirements. That's why people adopt. But once you have adopted, GRI and CDP is very easy to navigate because still there are some maneuvering is allowed. But SBTI, there is a least maneuvering around. Why? Because there is an auditors who comes and checks you. Now, often these are used for differentiating the brand image in competitive markets. So if a company wants to create its own identity in sustainability, that these efforts they are taking, they will definitely use these words. Most of the company who has been doing this for past several years, they use all three. They use even TCFD, specifically if they are in financial area or they have some influence of finance, specifically SBI in India, they report on TCFD as well. And by the way, if somebody wants to read all these kind of reporting in one document, SBI sustainability report is the ideal document. After that, Tata Motors has Tata Steel has an ideal document. So these two, three documents are ideal if you really want to see that how reporting happens on GRI, how reporting happens on TCFD, how reporting happens on any other measure like CSRD. Now, mandatory disclosure are those which I have just discussed, including SEC in US has climate disclosure rules, EU Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive CSRD. In India, you have BRSR, Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reports. Now, these are aimed to enforce the compliances and standardize the reporting, which tomorrow government wants to get audited as well. And next year it is going to happen. Role of stakeholders remain critical here, like investor increasingly demands now ESG data to make an informed decision, and the numbers are very high. It's in terms of 90% of large investors are asking nowadays that give me additional data to for me to make a decision on your company. Regulators again wants to enforce climate related disclosures, and consumer has a growing preference towards sustainable transparent brand. Yes, Kailas, you have a question?
So I just wanted to ask, and I understand what compliance is, but how would you exactly define it in a way? Like, I think I get it by context, but just to define, what you can explain compliance in short, please.
I'm not authority to define compliances, but any finance guy today, Ravi has not joined, right?
Easier. So,
Yeah, Ravi. Ravi, can you define the compliance being CA,
like,
CA?
what exactly does it mean? Like,
Compliance refers to like any this law, this land that you have to follow. Say, for example, like India, you have laws on transfer pricing, you have laws on GST, then you have laws on your VAT, your sales tax. So, so compliance is something which you will have to follow the law of the land.
okay, so that means it's just that much, right? That's I got that the context, but just wanted to clarify. So
No, good, good. No question is silly question in our class.
that's why
But
exactly why I asked because I knew I can go safe here.
I agree with you. And
Yeah.
Gaurav is the example of that. Hi, Gaurav, welcome back. Gaurav is our last session.
Hi.
You attended GRI as well, right? You have attended GRI
Yes,
certification
yes.
program as well. So welcome back. Mostly we are covering what we have covered last time. Sorry. But we have increased 50%. We have changed 50% of the course this time. More than 60% actually. If whoever has attended our previous program knows that. So you will have opportunity to attend the next session, which is coming next week. There also there will be 70% change, but at least 60% will be definitely there. So
Yeah,
welcome.
yeah. Yeah, actually, I thought it is something starting one.
No, this is
So
the
yeah.
starting is happening is next Saturday. We are
Okay,
starting
okay.
at
Maybe
the time.
I should join that then. I think.
Yeah, because there was too much of demand. So, and we didn't wanted to take more than 10 people and few people who paid money and did not join. So we are allowing them also, and that's why we are doing another program next week. But anyway, see you there. But you can continue. We are adding a lot of stuff today, which we have not talked. So you are always welcome.
Good.
Okay,
Thank
now sustainability report. These are exactly same what we have covered last time, but there will be an additional part which you will see within 10 minutes. So now sustainability reporting is that reporting uh, is a specific practice of measuring, disclosing, and being accountable for, specifically on the organization performance in achieving its sustainability objectives. Three thing always remember whenever somebody talks about the sustainability reporting, if you are a decision maker or an investment analyst or a person who's enthusiastic about it, always find these three things. First, there will be a objective. which should be sustainability based. Are you with me? That's the definition. Second, that report should give you that what this company has done in last 1 year, specifically on front of environmental, social, and governance. Third is most important, that there should be clear-cut quantitative and qualitative record of measuring, disclosing, and how accountable and who is accountable in this company for that. These three things always read, and then you are reading the sustainability report properly. Or if you are writing it like you have learned GHG reporting writing, then definitely make sure these three things are covered. And that's the exact purpose of the sustainability report. The primary purpose of reporting is to communicate the company's sustainability effort, not just records that so much of carbon I have emitted, so much of people I have protected, so much of forest I have generated, so much of sequestrian farming I have done. But rather, you have to also tell them that how this effort has reflected into my company operation. What exactly change has happened on the climate side, on the social side, on the governance side? Are we become a better company from last year? That's what is the purpose of sustainability, and it is prepared for the all stakeholder who are interested in their business, including investor, customer, employees, and regulator. Now, sustainability reporting definition I have already covered, and importance comes from that this is a practice of measuring, disclosing, and being accountable for. Always remember these three words, whichever sustainability report you read. And how to make it credible, which is your responsibility when you develop the GHG accounts, by taking this forest step, which I told you just a couple of minutes back. That first thing will be that you include both good and bad news. Then only your report is credible report. To create a credible sustainability report, it is essential that you include both sides of the discussion, the yin and the yang, positive and the negative information, to maintain the transparency. Otherwise, you can keep on claiming people will know you are not transparent, because there is no one who has everything green. Okay. So you have to make sure that it gets reflected somewhere in your document so people start trusting it. Too good is not good, right? That much we have learned through our aging cycle, that too good anything is not good. Use data and targets. So if somebody has some bad side of it, accept it. Use of data and target to support claim is the second pillar in creating sustainable report. Credible sustainable report specifically. Always make sure that there is a data trail created and in report reflected, along with targets which shows to people that we are still some space away from what I'm trying to achieve here. If you have achieved your target, like India did in 2022, they took immediately new target of 500 gigawatts by 2030. That's the real credible sustainability report should do, or if in effect sustainability initiatives to have. Third pillar comes from that you should recognize a framework or a standard which is credible. For example, GRI. Okay. So that is one of the reason where Reliance is lacking. Even though they have it, I don't know why they don't create the content index in their report. I really get surprised. This year they have done, last 2 years they have done. So good to them. Good stuff there. Now, consider last part to make a credible report is always consider external verification of the reporting. Now, reason to produce sustainable corporate sustainable report, sustainability or sustainable report is first that the benefit which company gets in getting archive for the company sustainability report. So there is a authorized reporting style which you have accepted, and it becomes your archive. Whichever stage you are in your sustainability process, this will act as a archive for you. Second, it also showcase progress in improving your operation and workplace along with community impact which you are doing. That's why people do sustainability and CSR report. It also helps you to provide information to your stakeholder, specifically the investor and the analyst who are sitting there for the risk assessment. So it also exposes to them that what kind of risk I'm carrying. Okay. and it enables them to take an informed decision on my company. So my company will not have a fluctuating stock market cycle. Last but not least, the reason why people are accepting and preparing sustainability report, credible ones, is that marketing the firm, highlighting to the world what positive action I am taking apart from what negative has happened in the company, right? So these are the four critical reasons which people are accepting. Now, how to prepare it? Of course, I cannot go 8-day program on this. Otherwise, I need additional 8 days. What I have done here is I have just given you four major reporting practice which you should be using whenever you prepare a report. First, report has to be comprehensive. Now, word comprehensive, people take it very lightly. Trust me, the detailing, devil lies in detail, everybody knows, but detailing and being transparent is a two sides of the same coin. You cannot become transparent without being detailed. Okay. Specifically, when we are talking about sustainability report and a comprehensive sustainability report, we are talking about environmental, social, and governance performance. So that's the part one. Part two is the data-driven insight. The report has to be derived from the data. KPIs has to be established and shown very clearly in your document, including your GHG targets, right? Which helps a stakeholder to understand the company's sustainability performance and identify the area of improvement. Third is stakeholder engagement. I cannot emphasize this point. Without this point, your report is as crap as somebody is coming on road and saying that I am the best, I'm Gandhi, next Gandhi on the earth, or I'm the next Jesus on the earth, right? So that is ad bad at that somebody who is just telling without any fact and figure in his hand. So a stakeholder engagement. And there are two different ISOs are now has been created, which we have discussed. One is ISO 44001 is that a standard which establishes that your stakeholder engagement remain a senile one instead of fragile one. Second is AA 1000. These are two standard which has been development to make sure that a stakeholder remain proper and effective. Last but not least, always prepare sustainability report with a future focus in mind. Put those strategy, outline those effective sustainability initiatives which are going to impact the company in long term. Put those strategy in place which will be demonstrating people that you are committed to continuous improvement, not limiting to your extraordinary effectiveness, which in case of India has been seen, right? We put a target in 2018 and we achieved only in 2022. What India did, it changed its goal immediately to 2030 and said that forget about what we have achieved. We are planning to achieve now much bigger and larger goal here. And that's how a future focused report works. Now let's see some examples, right? Case study is the core of this program. I think there on the left hand side, there is some font issue, but don't worry, I will explain you. Patagonia is one of those company which has been committed to sustainable development for last 50 years. This company is now today known for outdoor apparel, which comes from all sustainable source. So they show the supply chain, and that too, where they are getting supply from Bangladesh, from China. These are their sources. But if you really want to see the effect, go to their website and they will give you the address of those company from where they are procuring. They are so transparent. Means a lot of people will shit in their pants if they have to disclose so much. Why? Because people treat that as a trick of the trade. They think this is my proprietary. I should not tell where from my clothes are coming. ट्राई कर लो ना. आप पूछना किसी से भी कि कहाँ से शूट लियो, कभी नहीं बताएगा आपको राइट प्लेस. और बता भी देगा तो जरूर बताएगा ऐसे प्लेस पे कि यू वोंट बी एबल टू रीच, राइट. नोबडी वांट्स टू रेप्लिकेट देमसेल्फ. कोई चाहता है क्या कि एक पार्टी में दोनों सेम स्कूल ड्रेस पहन के पहुंच जाए? नहीं चाहता. सो पॉइंट हियर इज textile company reaching to such kind of sustainability is unique. They have been given B Corp. They have now changing B Corp to B Corp plus. There is a new B Corp has come. They are trying to achieve that as well. And specifically in renewable energy, they have created a credible reporting style and structure. Ravi, you have a question?
No, I just Because now their only shareholder is that earth, right? Because we were discussing on this
Correct. You did a
Patagonia
case
case study.
study on this. You did a
Yeah,
case study on this.
yeah.
That's why you were itching to say something. Very good. In GRI program, we did a very good case study that now they don't have a shareholder. They
Correct.
changed the shareholder to Earth itself. They are committed to Earth. Whatever money they win. Anchika, you also did a case study, right? On the GRI? Okay, so you can't speak. Okay, I can know.
In
Oh,
our batch, everyone had to do it on Patagonia.
Ajay, you did as well.
It,
Yes,
it was the
you
first
did
one.
as well. Indeed, indeed. So a lot of you did. So good. So that is what how they have developed themselves. IKEA is another one, circular. So whoever has attended that session, it is same, right? We are just revising it for the people who have not attended those sessions. So they do not feel they have left half cooked or half baked. That is the purpose I am revising it. So whoever has attended, excuse me for next 2 minutes. Let me complete it for them. So another good example is IKEA Circular Economy Initiative, which Dr. Megha has detailed it in her presentation. Anybody has missed, please go and watch that. Microsoft diversity inclusion remained key area. And yesterday we were discussing in Diamond Member that now they are forced to remove that department itself. There is no diversity and inclusion department. It has been renamed as a culture and inclusion department. Okay. Even though in that condition, they are still continuing doing the good effort which they are doing. Of course, they cannot follow diversity now because it has banned by the government of United States of America, but they are still pursuing it. A person from AT&T, their chief sustainability officer sitting in India, has come and has spoken about it. So when we get such kind of people on ground talking about it, then information becomes really interesting, isn't it, Ravi? कल काफी उन्होंने बीच में इंटरवीन करके ही टॉक्ड अबाउट इट इन डिटेल Ramesh, you were there yesterday or you were not there? Ravi, I'm asking you.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, and the last one is Starbucks Community Impact Initiative, there where Starbucks is now engaging youth in that locality and providing them jobs, as well as they are helping them to learn a new skill, similar like what I am trying to do. Of course, I am getting paid for it. Starbucks is doing under their CSR scheme. So this is how a sustainability initiative can be undertaken and continuously gets reported on, where you can get a proper credible outcome. And this is the future of sustainability. Tomorrow, there will be increased regulation. Technological advancement will be massive, and you have to adopt in your sustainability reporting, including IoT devices, right, to create accuracy, efficiency, and accessibility of your data. Stakeholder engagement, as I have told you, this time we have introduced these two regulations, which I have not done in the previous session, right? Which is a Accounting Authority 1000 and ISO 44001. These are the two new measures which world is adopting in order to really make a credible sustainability report coming out of stakeholder engagement along with the integrated reporting. So these are the stuff which is happening in the world. Let's have a quick quiz if my system allows me. Everyone, can you join in? Uh, let's see if it works first. If it doesn't work, then if it doesn't work. So leave it. We will straight away go to now Excel sheet and the case studies. But before I go there, everyone, go ahead and have a feedback ready. Because now we are in the fag end of our discussion. And definitely on Wednesday, I want everybody to give a feedback on the program so that it can benefit others who are really enthusiastic about this kind of stuff. Sometimes they feel cheated because they have less information in market. So that day, I would expect everybody to speak. Today is not necessary to speak, but at least uh, let's see if it works out. Okay, now can you see my screen, everyone?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay,